If I was to say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Yeah. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire.
That's Jim Morrison, the leader of the 60s cult rock group The Doors. And here is actor Val Kilmer, who plays Morrison in the new movie called The Doors from multiple Oscar-winning director Oliver Stone. The Doors is just one of the new movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Jim Morrison and the Doors left behind some classic rock and roll recordings, which I still love to listen to, but on the basis of The Doors, an ambitious new movie by Oliver Stone, the pleasure I get in listening to those songs is nothing compared to the pain that went into their making. The movie was shot in widescreen, and that's the way Stone wants you to see it here in these clips very effectively. It documents the brief life of Morrison and the Doors from their first appearance on the Los Angeles rock scene to their superstardom, and then all of the bad vibes as Morrison turned into a heavy-duty drunk and drug abuser. Toward the end, every concert was a cliffhanger. Would Jim be able to get it together, or would he self-destruct?
He said, well, you better get out of there, or what? I said. And he started pushing me. Yeah, so I started pushing back.
In the beginning, it wasn't like that, as Morrison, a dreamy Venice Beach hippie, first talked about forming a band with Ray Manzarek, a keyboard player, portrayed here by Kyle MacLachlan.
Sides are being chosen. Everything's gonna flame, man. The planet is screaming for change, Morrison. We gotta make the mix.
Oliver Stone came of age in this world, and his movie does a brilliant job of recreating it in relationships like this one between Morrison and his companion Pam, played by Meg Ryan. Here you can see how Morrison's drugs have made all of his relationships problematical.
Ooh, it's just some low-grade acid, not heavy.
Oh, Jim. Oh, God, you know, I cooked the duck.
Oh, baby, it's
and people are coming, you know?
It's amazing the way the movie recreates the Doors' concert scenes. They look like outtakes from a documentary that was shot at the time. The crowd scenes there have an amazing impact, and this is one of the most realistic-looking rock movies ever made. But sitting through the decline and fall of Jim Morrison is not a pleasant experience, and the last hour of The Doors is like spending several weeks trapped inside the party from hell. Drugs turned Morrison into a narcissistic, selfish, deceptive monster whose ego made life miserable for everyone around him. That creates a paradox. This is a brilliant movie about a person I would rather not have met. I have great admiration for many of the elements in the film, including Val Kilmer's heroic performance as Jim Morrison. He looks so much like Morrison that it's eerie, but he's also completely convincing in the role. I also like Kathleen Quinlan's work as a weird rock journalist who feeds Morrison's fantasies. And Oliver Stone's achievement in recreating this period of time, including the rock concerts, is astonishing. The Doors is a very well-made movie about some terrific music, but the misery of its hero makes it truly painful to watch.
You know, I didn't suffer that much, except in his relationship with the Pamela Corson character played by Meg Ryan, which I thought was, I guess, so unhappy that it wasn't really worth watching. But the rest of the picture is a musical experience, which is really what I think I took out of it. It was a pleasure to revisit the times. I felt like I was given a ticket back to the 60s, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being there, watching the music, seeing it created, seeing the spirit of the 60s recreated, the positive spirit of people taking chances. I really thought it was a terrific film.
You've just given a wonderful review of the first 20 minutes of the film. What about what Jim Morrison goes through in this movie? His obsession with death, his completely sadistic and uncaring treatment of everyone around him, the way that they start reacting to him with passive-aggressive hatefulness, so that the passive-aggressive hate, so that the people in the band in the background who are playing while he's singing look at him as if they would like to kill him. What about the audience as he kept waiting for hours? What about the painful spectacle of him embarrassing himself in public while drunk and exposing himself? Is that the spirit of the 60s?
I don't think, well, you know what? People did awful things, sure. They were drug-influenced and drunk. And
but what about this guy? He was more than drug-influenced. He was on a complete death trip.
Well, okay, I saw that, but I enjoyed the music that was created during that period.
Well, then you should get the soundtrack album.
I did actually buy 2 records from the film. I enjoyed the film thoroughly. I'm not exactly sure what we're arguing about here. We both liked the movie. I think
I'm not going to give it thumbs up. No.
You call his performance brilliant?
Yes.
Yeah. And the recreation of the rock music brilliant? And you're not going to recommend that people see this?
I think it's a pretty unpleasant experience.
But you wouldn't want them to see the brilliant things in the film?
Listen to the music. I admired a lot of the things in this movie, but the problem is, by the end of the film, it's really a downer. I mean, in a bad way.
But wait a second. There are people. It's documented the guy died at the age of 27.
That's right.
Okay, so obviously he told the story straight. If the story's unhappy straight, we've been arguing for years that we want pictures not to be...
It goes on and on and on, Gene. It goes on and on and on. After a while, you just want to cover your eyes. You just don't want to see this guy destroying himself and those around him any longer. It's too painful. If you have any empathy at all, you want to draw a cloak of mercy over this scene.
Well, actually, it sounds like you got deeply, deeply involved in the picture, as did I.
Well, more deeply than you, apparently. You like the music.
Oh, I liked the music, and I cared about the performance. Val Kilmer was great.